Hi everybody. I thought you might be interested in seeing what I do to test out a new lens when it first arrives. This is a Voigtlander 21 millimeter f1.4 lens that I bought in April. And what I do is I go to a shopping center or some other building that has a flat face, and I get as far from it as I can, still maintaining both edges of the building in my field of view for the lens. And I take a test shot where the building reaches the upper left corner of the lens and the lower right corner of the lens. And then I take another one where the edges of the building reach the upper right corner of the lens and the lower left corner of the lens. So let's look at the results that I got from this lens. First of all, my focal point was somewhere around here, and that's a pretty good focus. It's not perfect. I did miss it just a little bit, but you know, that's a sharp enough photo for me. And if I look at the upper left edge, it's much softer than the center was. Can't even really read that address. And if I go to the lower right edge, the bricks are pretty soft right here, even up here. The sign is soft. You know, I can't read the license plates. Let's see if I can't read the license plates here. So this lens is what's called decentered, where at least one of the internal pieces of glass is not perpendicular to the focal plane, or I'm not quite sure how to say it, but it's a little bit twisted so that it doesn't come to focus properly at the various corners. Let's look at the opposite point of view. Center, sharp. Lower left is pretty soft. I can't read that license plate. This is unacceptable for that much money for a lens. And the upper right corner is good. If all four corners were like this, I'd be happy. But they're not, so I returned it. And they sent me a replacement, and I took it out at f5.6, and this is my first test shot. Center is very sharp, as I would hope, because that's basically based on how you focus the lens rather than defects in the lens. Defects usually show up on the corners instead of all across the image. The upper left looks great. I can read that license plate easily. These test shots were made at f5.6 as well, just like the others. And the Murray sign is a little bit soft, but we're right at the corner of the image, and it sharpens up pretty nicely when you get in a little bit. So, you know, I'm only in that much, and it's already pretty much perfect. Here it's a little bit soft. Anyhow, I'm happy with that test result. Let's look at the opposite direction. Center the lens. Perfect. Lower left corner. I can read the license plate. It's a little bit soft, but it's not bad. This is acceptable to me. And the upper right corner is also good. I think I'd be able to read that license plate, and I can certainly make out his face. So it's a big improvement. Went a little further and tested at 2.8. The 2.8 tests on the f2.8 tests on the original lens were just terrible. I didn't show them to you, but they're much softer in the corners. And so the 2.8 test on the replacement lens, the center looks good. Upper left corner is a little bit soft at f2.8, but it sharpens up by f5.6, and actually by f4 it's sharp. And the lower right corner is also good. I mean, f2.8 and certainly f1.4 is used for portraits or flowers or whatever, where you don't, it's not important whether the corners are in focus. In fact, you probably don't want the corners in focus. You want them to be softer and draw the emphasis into the subject. Anyhow, the lower left corner is good. Center's good. And the upper right corner is also very good. I'd be able to read that license plate, I do believe. So I kept this lens. And that's what I do when I get a new lens, to go test it. If it's a zoom lens that you're testing, you want to test it at a few different focal lengths, the two extremes and something in the middle maybe. But certainly gauge your results based on the price you paid for the lens, and what your expectation is for the lens. Prime lens at $900 I expect to be just about perfect, and that's what this lens is. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. I hope you guys take care. See you later. Bye-bye.